Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Recovery is Effing Awesome. My name is Robo, and my day of grace is May the 7th of 2010, and I am as grateful for that as I know how to be today. Today is September 5th of 2023. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody got through the holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend. You didn't have to labor too much. I labored a little bit, just in case you wanted to know. We've got a couple readings today. I thought I'd jump on here and share some thoughts, because you know when you read something and it just hits you, right? It hits you right in the feels, and it's kind of like right where you're at. So in the daily reflection, right, the title is Emotional Balance. This comes from 12 and 12, page 83. May direct amends to such people wherever possible, right? Since it's September, which is the 9th month, usually they talk about the 9th step. So then a member goes on to write, when I survey my drinking days, I recall many people whom my life touched casually, but whose days I troubled through my anger and sarcasm. Those people are untraceable, and direct amends to them are not possible. The only amends I can make to those untraceable individuals, the only changes for the better I can offer, are indirect amends made to other people whose paths briefly cross mine. Courtesy and kindness, regularly practiced, help me to live in emotional balance, at peace with myself. All right, so we're going to talk about emotional balance, anger. We're going to talk about all this good stuff. All right, so then we go on to the touchstones. It says, we know in this program that recovery was not by accident. We may be mystified by it or surprised to be feeling better. Some of us call it a miracle. We have worked hard in our recovery. We have suffered through some difficulties. Yet our recovery is not an achievement or an accomplishment. It is a gift from our higher power. We were powerless to help ourselves. All we could do was ask for help. As we live an improved life and enjoy the benefits of our growth, we may ask why we were given this gift. As we seek to know the will of God, the ancient passage quoted today offers an answer. He rescued me because he delighted in me. Thanks to God for all the rescued moments and for all the times I have been saved from my excesses. Then we go on to the 24-hour. This one really, really smacked me. It says, one of the mottos is first things first. This means that we should always keep in mind that alcohol is our number one problem. We must never let any other problems, whether family, business, friends, or anything else, take precedence in our minds over our alcohol problem. As we go along, we learn to recognize the things that may upset us emotionally. When we find ourselves getting upset over something, we must realize it's a luxury we alcoholics cannot afford. Anything that makes us forget our number one problem is dangerous to us. Spiritual progress is the law of your being. Try to see around you more and more of the beauty and truth, knowledge and power. Today, try to be stronger, braver, more loving as a result of what you did yesterday. This law of spiritual progress gives meaning and purpose to your life. Always expect better things ahead. You can accomplish much good through the strength of God's Spirit in you. Never be too discouraged. The world is sure to get better, in spite of setbacks of war, hate, and greed. Be part of the cure of the world's ills, rather than part of the disease. You know, those are pretty good. Read that this morning. Got my day started off good. Got me a little Jake dust sprinkled on me. You know, all is good in the world. You know, but I don't know about you guys, but I used to tackle everything emotionally. I was emotionally invested in everything, whether it concerned me or whether it didn't concern me. Now, this is not program related, but this podcast is encompassing of all recovery. So, you know, when I mentioned the word alcohol, if you're addicted to food, plug in food. If you're addicted to drugs, plug in drugs, right? So if you're an addict, you're addicted to everything. I'm addicted to chocolate. I'm addicted to energy drinks. I'm addicted to tobacco. I'm addicted to just pretty much damn near anything that makes me feel good. Some healthy, some not so healthy. But I got involved in a friend turned me on to this book. It's another book. It's not program related at all. It's not approved, but I've started reading this, and I have found benefit in it because it correlates to the the giant blue book that we live by in the first 164 pages. It's called The Total Health Handbook, Rays of the Dawn. And I don't know if you guys read this, and if not, I would highly suggest getting it because it is helping me. It's The Natural Laws of the Body, Mind, and Soul by Dr. Thurman Fleet. Apparently this was written in the 30s, which is kind of ironic because the other book was written in the 30s. The guy was a chiropractor. But it's called Rays of the Dawn. They're not sponsoring this. I get nothing from this except the benefits of it is helping me live comfortably in sobriety one day at a time. Right? And and it talks about these natural laws of the body, mind, and soul. And it has everything from, for like the body, right? There's nourishment, movement, recuperation, sanitation. And in the mind, fear, struggle with fear, worry, struggle with worry, selfishness, struggle with selfishness, vanity, anger, of course, criticism, envy, greed, hypocrisy, prejudice, jealousy, and hate. And then for the soul, there's faith, hope, generosity, aspiration, patience, sympathy, non-interference, kindness, courage, forgiveness, duty, and love. I've had this book for, maybe a week and a half. But some of the principles in this that the guy talks about is, and it's not written to where someone like me who doesn't have a PhD can actually read it and understand it. But it also allows me to apply this in my daily living. Right? So chapter 9 is anger. Right? So, it has a little quote. It says Proverbs 16:32. Not to get religious on you, but, it's here and it kind of makes sense. So Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Right? So that's telling me, I need to control my anger, just like the other book says, right? It's a dubious luxury of normal men. I am not normal. Don't know what the fuck normal is, but I don't even want to be normal. Right? It goes on to say the destructive emotions of the human mind are many, and the individual who understands how to control them is indeed fortunate. Emotion represents a very intimate interaction between the mind and the body. To attain a higher degree of self-control, we must begin with emotions. But instead of suppressing or annihilating them, we should try to control and coordinate them. If left uncontrolled, the emotions eventually evolve into psychotic demons that intrude ruthlessly on the confines of the whole being. They create physical and mental disorders, destroying the finer sensibilities, building themselves up into despotic masters, dominating the mind at will and completely supplanting reason and judgment. Now, that's me to a T, because when I get really pissed off, my reasoning and my judgment are out the window. He goes on to say, anger may be defined as a sudden, keen displeasure aroused by a real or assumed injury or injustice, and usually accompanied by the desire to punish. Indignation is intense anger awakened by anything unworthy, as cruelty or meanness. Rage is a vehement expression of anger, and fury is an excess of rage. I know all about rage and fury. I know all about that. Anger and other similar states such as rage, fury, vexation, irritation, revenge, and perhaps jealousy and scorn distort and darken the nature. We should recognize the need to conquer these evils. The human consciousness has become so identified with these destructive emotions that although we realize these forces are detrimental to our development, we are deluded by the idea that they are a necessary part of human life. So there's a little bit about anger. And then it goes on to talk about jealousy. And then it goes on to talk about aspiration. I'm going to be honest with you, I had no idea what aspiration meant. I know that I've heard, right, you aspire to be great. You aspire to, I don't know, do things. But I didn't really understand, what it meant. So reading this, it says, aspiration is the guiding power that directs each of us to strive for loftier things. It motivates an exalted life. It elevates us beyond the plane of selfishness and desire, helping develop a pleasing personality and noble character. I don't know anything about noble character. However, I want to get rid of this selfishness. So, aspiration will help me do that. Right? And it goes on to say, desire and aspiration are not synonymous. To desire is to obtain. To aspire is to achieve. Aspiration points to the exaltation resulting from the purification of the soul and not to conditions or endowments that may follow. Whatever we aspire to be, we can attain, so far as the spiritual organism is concerned. And I'm not going to read this whole thing. I suggest that you actually get this book, Rays of the Dawn by Dr. Thurman Fleet. I'm sure you can get it at Barnes & Noble or Amazon, because, let's be honest, Amazon has everything you possibly need. But as far as anger and emotional balance, to live in emotional balance, to live not as an emotional being, to not let nonsense cloud my judgment and jack up my thinking. How do I do that, right? Well, the first 164 pages in that big giant blue book that we all know and love tells me exactly what I do on a daily basis, right? And I am a book thumper. You can call me whatever you want, but those first 164 pages, along with a good sponsor and a great group of friends, have saved my life and given me a life that is absolutely nothing I could have dreamed of. And we were talking last night at a meeting, and the things that I used to pray for, right? Some of those I actually have now, and sometimes I take them for granted, right? So I need to learn a lot of humility. And humility comes from me not getting pissed off and bent up around the axle about, things that really don't concern me. Because there's a lot of nonsense and bullshit going on in the world. Just turn on the news, right? Turn on social media. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, right? I could choose to get all emotionally wrapped up in that, right? Does that directly affect me? Not really. It may indirectly affect me. It may indirectly affect me in ways that I don't know because I can't see it yet, right? Like my friend Arthur says, I can't see until I see, and I can't hear until I hear. But not getting involved in that and just taking care of what's right in front of me and what I need to get done today is that's the way that I strive, I guess, aspire to live today. And I say it all the time. Life is so much easier when you just don't give a fuck. But not in a negative way, right? It's like I have empathy for people who go through stuff. I have sympathy for people who are suffering for loss. But I don't have to get emotionally invested in it. I need to take care of me, my sobriety, number one, and my serenity. And my serenity is directly proportionate to how much energy I give to other things. So if I'm giving my emotional and mental energy to other things and not taking care of myself, then my serenity level depletes. Right? But if I'm taking care of myself, not only am I feeling better, am I more unemotionally invested, I guess, but then I'm there to help other people, to talk to other people, to listen to other people, to share my experience, strength, and hope, because that's really the only thing that I have. And I just wanted to pop on there because, it some things hit me in a different way when I'm reading this stuff, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like I have to share it. Whether anybody's listening to this or not, I don't know. But I hope it helped one person. If it did, my job is done. It is a good job, but I know it helped me. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go do stuff around the house, do the husband thing, take a little load off my wife, and hope y'all have a great day, rest of your day. It's going to be 100 and fuck you outside again. It'll eventually get cold and rain probably in February. However, we make the most of it, right? We do the best we can with what we got. Put one step in front of the other. Not intentionally hurt anybody, and don't take that first drink. It's going to be a good day. I love you guys. I appreciate your support. Appreciate you guys for listening. recoveryiseffingawesome.podbean.com is our website. You check it out. We got bracelets, we got shirts, we got some goodies if y'all want to support the channel. Again, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to listen. I love you guys, and remember, don't take that first drink and you won't get drunk. Don't get emotionally invested and you won't get a resentment. And remember, recovery is fucking awesome.